Talk Show.
Recorded live.
Black Power, a beautiful Hodie, this is Brother Cause. Give me a second while we get things together for tonight's Think Tank Thursday. I'll be right with you. Peace to beautiful Hodie. This is Brother Cause. I'm back on the line. Welcome to Think Tank Thursday on Feet on the Ground. Tonight we're going to be discussing workplace racism. I'm not going to get too far into things right at the moment. I'm going to wait for the guests as well as the host and the callers to get on the line. Peace. Peace, Black Power. This is Brother Cause. Welcome to Feet on the Ground. A beautiful Hodie. Welcome to Think Tank Thursday. Tonight we're going to be discussing workplace racism. We have a guest coming on to the line tonight. It's going to be a real good show. We got the host and definitely some input from the public. I think it's a real good, very important topic to discuss. Hello, peace. Who's that?
You on early today?
Hello?
Peace. This is Brother James.
Hey, Brother James. Who's the caller from Connecticut? Is that you, Brother Whitell, or is that Brother Bourne?
This is Brother Whitell.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, sir. How's everything?
It's good. Welcome to the line. Just give us a couple of moments before we get started. Just waiting for the rest of the hosts to get on.
Okay.
Yeah, we got Brother James who's out in Philly. He's one of our hosts. Brother Heru, Brother Minkara, they're out in California, and Sister Camille in New York. And so we're just going to wait for them to get on the line, give it a couple of minutes. Just doing a quick introduction, just to warm up a bit.
Okay.
And then we'll take it from there. But Brother James, how you doing?
Hey, Faith, what's going on?
Doing all right, doing good. I'm excited about tonight's show.
Oh, yeah. I just heard, that you actually had a brother. I read the article, and, it was yeah, that was crazy. That was a crazy situation. Now, I don't know what I would have did if that would have happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Up in the workplace, according to the article, he said he didn't really, play around. He's not one of those type of joking persons, on the job. And then it was like, you couple that with him not even, knowing them like that. He don't really associate with them two particular people like that. So it was like, what would be the purpose behind them even thinking of the idea that we're going to try to do this joke on this particular brother. So,
yeah,
and it's in light of, different incidences with the same, people throwing up a noose up at the workplace. I don't know what's up with that whole idea, because I've seen a few articles and a couple of videos with the same incident that, these white folks like to put up the noose up in the workplace for some reason now. I don't know what's up with it.
Definitely. Yeah, one of the situations. My mom, she worked in a prison. She worked at a youth institution up in Chester, Connecticut, and they had nooses in lockers, and they'd be hanging from the ceiling randomly and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I look forward to seeing how far we go with this discussion, because I think it's definitely relevant. I think all of us kind of have had our experiences dealing with some form of racism in the workplace, whether it's some sort of something as extreme as a noose, or just certain language being used as far as references and stuff. So hopefully we can get into that, and we could definitely share our experiences after the brother. I want to hear the story from his perspective, because newspaper articles and is based on the interpretation of the person writing it. So Brother White, are you out there?
Yes, sir. I hear you.
Yeah, so, we really just want to first get a background as to who you are, and then, you can go into the story. But I first want to thank you for coming on the show tonight on Think Tank Thursday.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
All right, so if you want to just give us a background, of yourself, did you grow up around white folks, black folks, what was your upbringing like?
I grew up in New Haven, Connecticut, out in Westville, in the projects. As we were young, I have it was 7 boys, 1 girl. I lived with my parents, and at that time, me and my twin brother, we were bused to school out in Orange, Connecticut, to an all-white school. So, I always interact with white people. They were, at that time, they were my best friends then, because that's where we went to school at until we got older. Then when I went off to high school, I ended up at Hill House High School. So I always interact with people, always had a good life, always, did what I was supposed to be doing, wasn't one of the hard-headed bad boys that, stayed in line, because all my brothers were older than me, so, they kind of kept me and the younger ones in line there. I've been in New Haven all my life. Last name Sims, so might know some of you guys out there might know some of my brothers and my sisters. But before that, life was good, So you ready for me to tell what happened at the workplace now?
Yeah, definitely. Because living in Connecticut, I just wanted to touch on something. Living in Connecticut, the black population in Connecticut is only 10%. Hispanics make up probably 15% of that, and that's probably mostly in New Haven and Hartford.
Right.
And so, we end up sometimes our parents give us the opportunity. We'll see it as an opportunity, a better opportunity for education,
right.
And even living environment to move us around or have us go to school with white children. or in white communities. You know, just to touch on that, I lived in New Haven, and then my mom moved me to West Haven around white folks, and then, you know, I started having my racial issues dealing with white folk. And so to her, it was an opportunity for, you know, I'm going to get a good education and all that stuff, but I still had the same, I had to deal with the things as if, you know, it was not meant to be. So, yeah, continue on. You can, you know, touch on, you know, the kind of work you was doing and then go into the what happened at the workplace.
Okay. Yep. Well, I worked for this company out in Orange. It was an aircraft company. At that time, the only black that worked for the company. It was, you know, mixed. It had some Spanish people working there, and mainly Polish people that worked there. I ran a full department by myself, worth over $1 million that I ran by myself over in shipping and receiving and the parts department, all by myself. You know, they were supposed to be getting me help, never got me no help. Supposed to be people working under me to help me, but of course that never happened either. So ran this. So this particular day, May 9th, 2013, I was in my office working approximately 11:30 in the morning. Didn't hear nobody come in the door because the way my desk was facing backwards towards the door, so my back was towards the door. So when I ever realized that they were in there with me, they were standing directly behind me. So one of the guys started rattling the chain, so I looked over. First I didn't think nothing. I was like, yo, what's going on? What you looking for? He stood there with this smirk on his face, didn't say nothing. Then when I went to turn my chair, that's when I know the other guy was standing behind me. So I kind of looked down, and then I seen a rope hanging. And so I said to myself, I know this ain't what I think it is. So I jumped up out my chair because I didn't know what it was. He had a rope tied in a noose knot, a black and red rope tied in a noose knot, a thick rope. And then when I jumped out, like, yo, what's going on? He took the rope and tried to throw it around my neck. At that time, I grabbed him by his arms and pushed him up off me. First thing went through my mind, because at that time my life kind of just flashed right before me, because I thought they were going to hang me and beat me with this chain, just like that, because he had this smirk on his face. The other guy standing there with a rope. One guy 60 years old. The other guy was 29 years old. And just before I get all into that, you know, people say, you know, they would have did this, they would do that, but I'm telling you, when stuff like that happens and catch you off guard, you never know what you're going to do. You never know how you're going to react, because the first thing to react, my life flashed in front of me, so I just knew they were going to kill me. There was no security, no cameras, no nothing there. It was just me and them two white guys. They're from Poland. And that's all that was there. So at that time, I really believe that I must have left myself, because the guy was, I'm telling you, when I did ever try to push him, move him, like a 60-year-old mule, this guy, I couldn't even hardly move him. That's how strong he was. So you could tell back then he probably worked out on the farm or whatever, what kind of work he did was. And then after I touched her a little bit, by that time, when I came back to myself, they were gone. Previously, before that, after I got myself together, they had already went into the main building before that happened and told everybody that they were going to hang me. When I did get myself together to go back into the other building, yo, they came running up to me talking about, yo, they didn't hang you in the warehouse? Oh, yo, I thought they were going to hang you in the warehouse. Yo, they laughed in my face like I was nothing. They talking about, oh, it was just a joke. Now, all of a sudden, the guy from Poland, he don't speak no English. He acting like he don't know what he did. Called the Orange Police Department. I went there myself, gave a written statement. I took called one of my cousins. She came, gave them a written report about what happened. They went to the job, not that day, but the next day, and they were talking about what they got was the other guy was a witness. Really nothing didn't happen. They only charged this guy with disorderly conduct. That's all the charges he got. And you get that from a dog barking out in the yard. That particular day, none of the bosses were there, none. I ended up going to the accounting department and reporting it to him, because he was, you know, the only guy that was, you know, in charge that was there, because nobody else that was in charge was there. seemed like the owners wasn't there, none of the bosses was there, none of the supervisors there, nobody except for the workers. And all of them was laughing at me, looking at me like, yo, they didn't hang you? I thought they was going to hang you. Yo, they laughed in my face like it was nothing. And they did nothing about it. So one guy did get arrested, but like I said, he only got disorderly conduct, and he walked away with a misdemeanor, and they put him on he got one of those accelerated programs. So in 2 years, he'll walk away with like nothing happened. The company turned around and fired the guy that was a witness. So if he was a witness, why they ever fire him? So now they're trying to clean their mess up. So it was just crazy. I worked there, the only black that worked there. I worked there for 2 years. I wasn't scared of working there now because my thing was as long as they don't never put their hands on me, I was good. You know, they made little racial comments and stuff. I always addressed it. I always let them know, you know, don't call me out my name. I don't play games like that. I don't get down like that. So, you know, just keep it cordial. So that's how I did. But that day, I guess they were just, you know, you never know what's going through people's mind, why they did it. I've always got along with everybody. You know, I spoke to everybody every day. They spoke to me. I mean, we didn't do lunch or go out, nothing like that. But, you know, I try to keep things cordial because that's why I worked at, you know, brother needed a job. And that's what happened. It was just crazy. Just crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
Keith,
I was going to ask, what was the relationship between you and those two men prior to the incident, and was there any situation that occurred that would kind of warrant, you know, them, you know, doing what they did?
It was, man, nothing. Every day I thought everything was cool. It was never nothing. Went in every morning, you know, always spoke, how you doing, you know, like that. Like I said, we haven't had lunch together, nothing like that, but, you know, always, you know, kept everything in decency and order. So nothing that I ever done, you know, as myself as an individual, because, again, I'm the only black that worked there. So, you know, I ain't going to try to act all big and bad and, you know I didn't have nobody to help me.
Yeah, so your relationship between those two guys was what, non-existent or, you know?
Very cordial. You know, I see him in the morning, good morning, how you doing?
Did they ever try to, like, joke, you know, say some jokes to you or anything like that?
Like I said, one time I can remember I was going to a coffee truck, and there were maybe about 4 or 5 guys standing out there. So when I was going back to my office, one of the guys said, yo, black boy. So I kind of ignored him at first. Then he said, yo, black boy. So I went over there where they were. I let them know, I said, my mother and my father named me Whitedell. I said, don't call me out my name. Oh, no, we just joking. I said, I don't joke like that. I said, I don't appreciate you calling me black boy. I said, my name is Whitedell Sims. Oh, we sorry, we didn't mean no harm. I said, just don't let it happen again. And that was maybe 3 months later, prior to when this happened.
Hmm. So who do you I can say, you know, who do you communicate with more, you know, loosely, or who are you more comfortable with being around, or do you just be by yourself on the job?
Well, that particular job, it was because I was the only, you know, African American worked there. It was one other white guy, you know, that I did go to lunch with, and another Spanish guy that we did go to lunch with. But everybody else, you know, I thought I got along with everybody. You know, I wasn't, you know, ignoring anybody. But I think it's just these two guys. They from Poland. One guy was a janitor. The other guy was just a sheet metal guy. I came in there. You know, they comment about the car I drive. They comment about the way I came to work. You know, I wore a pair of khakis with some, you know, decent shoes, tennis shoes on, and a shirt. And they're like, yo, why you got your good clothes? I said, this ain't my good clothes. I drive a Jag, a 2000 Jag. Oh, why you drive that kind of car? So I'm not supposed to drive that kind of car? I'm not supposed to, you know, look decent? And these guys look like they just rolled out of bed. So I already knew that was a problem right there. But they never, just them asking those type of questions, I knew it was a problem.
And these were the two Polish guys?
Yep. The majority of the company was Polish because after, I did some investigation, we did subcontracts with Sikorsky. Sikorsky is a Polish company, and somehow they must have been related because this guy never even got fired. He's still working for the company today. I ended up getting fired, losing my job.
Oh, so you no longer work there?
No, I no longer work there.
Yeah, because when I read the article, it was saying that you they was trying to convince you to come back in or file 6 days.
Right. They wanted me to file for take personal sick days out. But my thing was, why would I go back there when the guy's father worked there, his daughter worked there, he had other family members worked there. You didn't fire them, so I'm gonna go back there for them to finish the job. Now again, mind you, there were no cameras, no security, or nothing there, and I worked in a separate building from the main building by myself. So ain't no way I was going back to work there.
So how are you going to pursue this from now forth, since you're no longer an employee there? Are you taking this to court or? Yes,
sir. Everything is in litigation right now. There are procedures being taken at this time. Thank God. Because they could have killed me. And, I believe in God and I trust God, and I know that things are going to work in my favor. But it was a really traumatic thing. Like I said, a lot of people has misjudged me and judged me, but they wasn't there. They don't know how it really affected me, how it affected my children, the things that I suffered. I've been in the hospital behind this. They put me on 3 different types of medication because it was post-traumatic stress. And then at that time after, I was having nightmares, don't sleep at night, constant headaches, anxiety attacks, emotional breakdowns. It was crazy. Because me, I'm 51 years old. At that time, I seen this on television, read books, I heard about it, the histories, but for it to come right here to me, that's a whole different story. Whole different story. And we as black people, and even at this time, I can't tell you one person that has reached out to help me or to offer even prayer or to say, you need anything. I stayed out of work a year and 6 months before I could get another job. Even different jobs I went to apply to where after they looked at my resume and wanted to know what happened at this job, I never got hired. So I was blackballed from even getting another decent job. We as a people, we don't help each other. We don't, it's like they're not concerned. I got to be. They had to kill me for me to get some action back. I called even NAACP. If you name it, I'll tell you everybody I got in touch with, and not one person.
I got a question, brother. Paul, this is Brother Bourne.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You said it was a Polish company, and then you continued on. You said it was a Polish company, and then you just stated that you went to several different places, including the NAACP, for help, and that a lot of different places around New Haven were not hiring. And I was just when you say a Polish company, are you saying it's a small, what I call a small hat company? And would it be a Jewish-owned company?
No, Jewish.
Because when I hear Poland, I just automatically get a thought of Khazarians and Jews coming from out of Poland, and a lot of money coming from that situation. So I just was wondering.
No, there weren't any Jews. These were strictly Polish people from Poland. They came over from Poland. See, so the company that we worked for was Sikorsky. Sikorsky is a Polish company. And the only reason why they had to be connected because they paid all this guy attorney fees and everything. He had top-notch lawyers. I couldn't even get a white attorney to take my case. The attorney that took my case was an African-American lady, and she found me because she heard about it, knowing that I couldn't get any help.
Brother, that's when you were stating that you couldn't get any help. and how difficult it is navigating the legal system and all of those things. That's the reason why I'm asking the small hat question. And what I will do is I'm going to take and do some research just to see the connections that are exactly there, see some of the names of the people who are presiding CEOs and presidents of these companies, because a lot of times, even though we say Polish, that's normally a hiding name for the small hat.
I believe it. Yeah,
Polish, you know what I mean? But it's a hiding game. And so I just wanted to see, because also, you know, as you said, not a lawyer wanted to be bothered with you. And we know that the law field is a predominantly small hat field, especially here in Connecticut.
Yep. That's it. You're right.
Yeah, brother. I feel remiss that you weren't getting any help sooner. You know, we just was made aware of the story. You know, there's so many things that come out, and I definitely, you know, I feel, you know, I feel where you're coming from with this sense of urgency of why we need to be taking some type of action, and you know, I can hear in your voice the you know, the strength of going through it, but also still pieces of that anxiety of in the story. You know what I mean? Because you know, it definitely seems like you know, something that we definitely need to be made exposed more on a larger audience. But just to tell you know, I just, you know, that it seemed as though that they were intentionally going to hang you, but because you gave up a fight, that was the only reason why you were not hung that day.
Right.
That, you know, as you said, no cameras there or anything. It just seemed like, you know, that if anything, you could have been hung that day, and it could have been written off as suicide.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. And that's where my question is, where, you know, with the NAACP, the people that work in that area saying they fight for the rights and for the black people, this is right at our front door, and nobody reached out. Nobody.
Well, brother, you know, some of the information, the backdoor information that's come in over these years is that the NAACP is actually a Jewish organization, not really made to help black people along, but to further the agendas of people other than black people, but with the black people as the soldiering for the movement.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, when you're messing with the NAACP, which basically stands for Negroes Always Asking Crackers Permission, once you check them, they could do nothing. Cracker said you better fall back off of that, because that's the reason why I'm asking these questions about the Jew connection, because a lot of times those connections are laying there, but we just can't see them because they're right up under the surface.
Right. Yep. Man, it was incredible, I'm telling you. It seemed like and you know, had they got away with it and hung me, but it would have hit. It would have went viral then. Everybody would have been, you know, round taking pictures, wanted to do a rally, wanted to do a press conference. They would have did something then, but then I was able to survive it, and they act like it was nothing. Act like it was nothing. And when I tell you I've been through, I'm still going through, and nobody they don't ask no questions, nothing. I've even lost some good friends. I even lost some people I went to church with. None of even the churches that I associate with it even called me in and asked for prayer. Do I want prayer? Nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, because, you know, it seems, you know, obviously, you know, even if it was a prank, it's definitely crossing the line, especially on a workplace.
Exactly. And
so it's you go ahead.
Yeah, there's a law that was passed in 2008, I believe, or 6. Is against the law to even make a hangman's noose. And even when we presented that in court, because the police department didn't charge them with it, that's how these people were able to walk away.
So according to, they heard both stories, because I know they gave a slightly different story. So based off of the two stories, they didn't, what the police department are suggesting that it wasn't a noose that they had?
they tried to clean it up like I really can't. Yo, I don't know what they were thinking, but I went there personally myself, gave them a report, told them what happened. When they got there, it was totally something different. But like I said, the guy that they said was a witness, the company turned around and fired their only witness. So why would they fire him if he was a witness to what happened? It was only 3 of us in the room.
Right.
Even when I got to court, man, we went to court for like 6 different times. The judge, asked me, what did I do to make them to want to do something like this? How long was the road? How wide was the noose? Stupid stuff like that.
And so the one that got fired, he was the one that was holding the noose, right?
No, he's the one that was holding the chain, was rattling the chain at me. The one that was holding the noose that tried to put it around my neck, he's still working.
Wow.
Like,
so that is the one that was holding the chain. He was the young one or the old one?
He was the young one. And then they tried to switch it, like the young one made the old one do it. And now he don't speak no English, so that he act like he don't know what he did. But any other crime, I don't care if you sitting there driving the car, somebody robbing the bank, you both get tried.
So are they both Polish immigrants?
They both Polish immigrants. Yep. Both of them. And the guy been in this country for 15 years, and now he don't speak no English. So I was working a job and don't speak no English.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now, elaborate more on what happened in the court, because you were saying basically that the judge, you said they was asking you some crazy questions. Just go through like the court proceeding a little bit.
Even then at the court, and you gotta excuse me because it is still emotional, and I'm just being able to really talk about it, to get it out. But so just bear with me. Because it was crazy. And even when I invited people to come to court, to, come listen, nobody wouldn't come. It was full of white people. And even then when the guy was speaking, they were all scrunching down in their chair, hiding their face because they knew he was guilty. But they still covered, the law still covered them and let them walk away like that. He asked, they even tried to persecute me, check my background, where I went to school at. Have I ever been on drugs? Have I ever been in jail? Like I committed a crime.
Right.
And this guy stood there the whole time with a stupid look on his face like he don't know nothing. And they let him get away with it. Couldn't even get nobody. I can name on one hand the people that came to court with me. That's it. Our own people.
Yeah. See, that's the whole thing. And now you was making mentioning of the judge. He was asking you questions about the news.
Yep. This was in Derby Court in Connecticut, not in New Haven. It was in Derby because they switched the case. Even when we did the police report, you know how you're supposed to get it back in 48 hours? We didn't get that report till 3 months later, and then we had to go to Derby to get it. Because they was trying to sit on it. They thought I was just going to go away and act like nothing happened. I was like, oh, no, you're not getting away with this. Oh, no. Yep, they persecuted me like I committed a crime.
Yeah.
And even my attorney tried to destroy her. I had to go to court twice without an attorney because they wanted her to drop the case.
And how did you find that out?
They actually suspended her license, so she couldn't practice law for almost 2 months.
So they suspended her license?
Yep, over something bogus.
Wow.
Because they couldn't find nothing on me, because they were trying to get me, so then they went after her after they couldn't get me.
So is she still your attorney?
She is still my attorney, thank God. Without her, I would not have got this far. Even when other attorneys, they heard about it, wanted it, and they were trying to take me away from her, and now they still not even here, nowhere around. She's been here through thick and thin. Even
so
I
definitely, I would have to agree with Brother Bourne. They making some power moves.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they're definitely making some power moves. They had to have some type of connection, you know, with something. They connected with something because it's like, you know, what you're saying is basically like, you know, they systematically trying to shut down, you know, the case.
Yep, that's what they would. Yep, they know they wrong. They know they did wrong. They know they were guilty. All the evidence point at them guilty, but still yet they were trying to make the wrong right and the right wrong. Yep. But I'm just determined they're not getting away with it. They're not, it's not, you know, and then people thinking about, after money. It ain't even about the money. It's the principle. What about my dignity? What about the justice? What about what's right? Come on. Right. They want to keep doing what's wrong and want to call the wrong right and the right wrong. Come on. It was just something in my spirit where I just believe the Lord, you know, I'm a Christian man. I believe God. And even at the time when it was happening, where I'm telling you, man, there's been times where my spirit would literally leave my body because I wanted to just forget it or die or whatever. But, you know, even with my belief in God, you know, He would speak to me and give me a word to encourage me, to strengthen me, because there was nobody else there. So I really had to learn where it had increased my faith in God to trust in God, because it was nobody I could go to. Nobody I could even, like I said, even to offer to pray for me or to comfort me or anything. Not nobody.
So did you, you said you were an active member in the church?
Yes, sir.
Did you bring that to the attention of your local pastor and you know, church? So what was the response?
I don't even know what to say. They had this wife. They've been there. I don't know if people don't believe it. I don't know what to say with people if they don't believe it, or I don't know. But this thing is real. It's real.
Well, brother, when the brother just asked, I like to add on to that question. Do you think that maybe it was a fear that they had to, you know, just a fear as in not wanting to bring up stuff that might cause trouble, like
but
you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to.
The thing is, if we don't, that's just like if I didn't say nothing, I wouldn't have been able to live with myself if I didn't say nothing. Just like anything else that happened, whether it's afraid or not, if we continue to be afraid, then how are we going to ever overcome it? How are we going to ever get by this? When white people continue to think they could do what they want, they could say what they want, and put us any kind of way, they can't keep doing that and get away with it. And even with the churches where I live at, they have a clergy association. They called me and my attorney there for a meeting, like they were going to do something. We told them the story. They wanted documentation, all this, and met with them. And to this day, they met, and they have not said nothing about it, have not did nothing or nothing. These are the clergy of New Haven. We've been to ACLU, like I said, the NAACP. We've been to Al Sharpton in New York, stayed up there for a whole week. We've been to the Justice everywhere. We've been to the FBI. Even the FBI tried to make like it was out of their hands. They had to send it to somewhere else.
Yeah,
never got.
Oh, brother! I'm telling you, this is now. I'm glad you're giving this story, because one of the things that you're doing is opening up our eyes to what's been going on for so long. Is that we, instead of taking these things into our own hands, we so long coming to the thought of, well, let's bring it to somebody and they're going to get me some justice. let me see if they can come and help us. But we're definitely going to have to start making sure that we depend upon self. As you said, the sister who was an attorney came out and sought you out to make sure that you had some, good legal backing with dealing with your situation, and that's what's going to be the main. That's what I think this should be the main focus of hearing a story like yours is our ability to strengthen one another outside of a lot of these corporate type of organizations that have us believing that we should come in. As you said, the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union, another small hat organization. And this is the thing, brother. When you say that the church don't want to touch it, that's why I think we have to be very, very careful. And as a church member, you have to be very careful on who you offend, knowing you can't offend the Jew who is God's people. You cannot offend God's people, and that's one of the things that I see happens inside the churches, that they get to a point where they don't. Where in the black church does not look at themselves as God's people, but look at other people outside of themselves as God's people. So when things happen, they tend to evaluate them on that scale, on who did it, how did it happen, and who was offended and who wasn't offended, and was these God's people that was offended. And being that you are a black man here in America, then as you know, brother, this is not on the Christian faith, but it is. But we're dealing with a system that was basically perpetuated to us to keep us enslaved. You understand what I'm? So that's how I look at the church. When you say the church wouldn't help you, I'm like, brothers, I would never expect them to help.
Yeah. And then another thing, would it been with the government and the churches, I believe, come to find out, they were scared of, because a lot of churches are funded by the government or they get money or whatever. And even I met with one of the pastors there, and he even told me himself, because me and my attorney were trying to figure out, what's really good, why won't nobody help us? And he's the only one that told us that they even had a meeting with me at one of the other bishop house about me, so they all knew about it. But if you're getting any funding from the government, if your name going on something like this, they're afraid they're going to lose their funding. So they wouldn't touch it.
FBI, Faith-Based Initiative. FBI.
Yep.
Man, brother, that's crucial. That's crucial. But I'm definitely glad you're here to tell that story. I know it's. Go ahead, brothers. I know it's people on the line might have a question, but just man, keep your head strong, and definitely this is something that I'm going to be looking forward to speaking with you again in order for us to really dig into the company. You know what I mean? Because I think that we should have some type of action, or at least it should be known that these is who these people are, so the African community here in Connecticut has no dealings with this company at all. At the least, we got to start doing that.
We even went to the Capitol and tried to get a law change in a petition. They did nothing. We even, if you name it, we did everything. We couldn't even get nobody to do a rally or nothing, or would come out or do nothing in front of the company to even, they wouldn't do nothing. Wouldn't do nothing. So also, if you don't mind, I want to put this out there. We did to start a funding because, again, my attorney, she did everything pro bono because, of course, I didn't have any money to pay, what we needed to get everything filed. So what we did was we started a shoe fundraiser where we were asking people for any old used shoes, where we were going to make a funding where we would be able to get some funding to help for the court fees and stuff. So we're going to have shoes sent to Africa where they will help foot my financial bill. So we're doing a shoe drive. Any old, used, not too worn shoes, we're able to send them over to Africa, and they will help me fund my attorney fees and stuff for the court fees. So that's one thing that was positive that I was able to get done.
Is that still going on?
Yes, sir. So how you could do that, I could, give you my information. You could put it out there, and either I could get a location, come get the shoes, or they'll come pick them up for me.
All right. Well, but we definitely need that information. Definitely make sure you put that out, and so we can, if that's the least that we can do, is donate a couple pairs of older shoes to your cause. That's something that at the least we can do that, at least to help divert some of those lawyer fees. And we know some, and as you said, the Queen is doing it pro bono, but we understand the cost of filing, the cost of making sure that everything is to the letter of the law, and how you have to make sure that a lot of these things are certified, and that's where a lot of the money goes in the certification of making sure everything gets to where it needs to be, on time, dated, and stamped.
Exactly.
Those things. Yeah.
Exactly. They have done so wrong. They even had times where we scheduled a court, be in court. They sent my attorney to one court, sent me to another court. We looking for each other. She's in Derby, I'm in Milford. How stuff like that happen? We got letters in the mail from the court.
I'm telling you, man, that small hat organization is something that's thick.
Yeah.
Because I don't have no doubt about it that company is a small hat run company, and when you have situations like that, where you have a lot of people of the same ethnic, quote unquote, ethnic group together, they work together as best as possible.
That's what they do. That's why I said we almost the only culture that will not come together. We won't help each other. We so busy trying to tear each other down, or think somebody's gonna get more than they got, or some. It's crazy. It's crazy.
We got taught that. That's why we're glad to have you on, because we plan on giving some help back. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell everything, and I know everything's for a reason, and I know this is something I had to go through. But if I have to be the example, then so be it. Because enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Yeah,
I got children, I got grandchildren, and I'm just not gonna go out like that.
No doubt. But as I said, brother, they say we can't come together, but we getting it right. It's slowly but surely. We've been through a lot. We've been through a lot with a lot of people telling us why we had no reason to get together, but we should depend upon them. That's what I was saying about going to the NAACP, going to the ACLU. They made us believe that it's not each other who we should automatically depend on, but there's some organization outside that has our best interest in heart.
Right.
And so it keeps us in this type of folly where we're looking at each other like we might be the culprit, but not really seeing that hand in the background that's leading us away from building with each other properly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So brother, we're gonna definitely be on this. Brother Mikaran. You out there? I see. I got.
What's up, BB48? BB48, what's going on?
BB48. I was just calling you in as if you had any questions for the brother who came in. I know you've been listening intently.
Yes, sir. I've been just listening to the brother's testimony. You know what I mean? First off, it's good to have you back, brother. You feeling, you feel with vigor, man. I'm feeling, picking up on your vibes, man. So it's good to have you back. First off, but a man's reputation, in regards to what a man does to gain a reputation, to some extent is priceless.
Right.
When people slander and, tarnish a reputation, it goes beyond that current employment situation where it transcends. You know what I mean? I don't know what this issue is when it comes in regard to us, whereas, a paper trail needs to be applied to us vigorously in regards to, slandering our reputation. I hope, make that, with your, you can't speak too much about your litigation and whatnot, but make that an issue in the case in regards to building up your potential.
Right.
Presenting your potential in regards to economic, social growth, all that to society, and then showing how the slander and making a case where it's really priceless.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep, I got you. That's where I'm headed.
You know, my condolences out to your family. You know, when you're doing the right thing and you staying strong on what you know is right, that's a path you may walk by yourself, right?
Yep.
But it's better to tell the truth and go to hell than follow a bunch of fools to heaven.
There you go. You got that right. You got that right. Because we are only individual and we're only accounted for ourselves. So that's it.
Ooh. But yeah, family, the line's open. Above the testimony, a powerful testimony tonight, man. And you know, and it's a testimony to fortitude, but also a testimony to the wicked right race that we've been talking about for long enough on the show. That is a main theme is that's who we're dealing with. We're dealing with people who have no care, compassion for us at all, and will at any point in time do anything devious to us. That there's not a day that you can go to work and think that, Joe is okay, Susan all right, and turn your back on him. Because, as you know, this brother is at his job doing what we call the right thing. And this is not only the result that happens with this brother, but this is not a theme only with him. But this has come up several times in these past couple of years where we've had black people at work and nooses have been either placed in different type of strategic places inside of the job in order to instill some type of fear inside of the black man and woman. But this is a new day. The day of the Geechee is over.
Very true.
Yep.
I think it goes in a situation whereas even if your position is menial but beneficial, meaning there's not a real high stress level in regards to job security. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
That old saying, a black man can go anywhere in America with a mop and a broom, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Some extent, they know the potential we have basically in just having consistent money, even if it's small money, right?
Yeah.
I'm in my neighborhood today, and a brother shooting the shit with the Arab, right? Like, man, $1 million for your store. And the Arab laughed. He didn't throw a number back, but his body language, he laughed.
Right.
He know what he got.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And us on the work scene, for a lot of people, those who have no idea, have no knowledge of even, identifying, they just trying to survive and get some money.
Right.
They see threats, especially by non-whites and non-Africans. They see our position as being threatening. Our presence.
Yeah. I believe that's what part of it was.
Mm-hmm. No question. Yeah, the question, man, this is Brother Griff out of Columbus. I wanted to know, you said you met up with Sharpton. You said you was up there for like a week. I wanted to know, see if you could give me some detailed feedback on that. And I'll see what you got on that first. Like, what was the vibe? What were they pretty much trying to see? What was their approach as far as what you was able to tell?
I got with him. I wasn't able to speak with him directly one-on-one. He sent his bodyguards or whatever. I gave him copies of the article. I went there. I was able to speak on a panel one night in front of a group of people to let them know what happened. I've even met with the owner of the Jet magazine, Desiree. I met with this other brother, a big radio host out of New York. I can't think of his name right now. I met with gospel artist Ricky Dillon. Told everybody about it. They were going to get back to me. They were so concerned and everything, and nothing. Al Sharpton, he kept promising me he going to get with me, met with his people or whatever, but nothing. No response or nothing.
So do you think right now you're at the state level with the case?
we're at we're at the EEOC.
Okay.
So we have.
So it's basically like a employment, like a discrimination employment complaint. So,
correctly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, can you go to a higher court with this? Or are y'all able to take it beyond? Because it sounds like where y'all at now, they're pretty much, it don't sound like they're capable of handling this particular case without some bias being part of it.
Yeah, we're taking it to a higher court now because they did. Now we just got the right to sue, so the EEOC did find the company guilty.
Okay.
So we are in the process of moving along. Like everything happened it was in 3 steps. Like we had to do the trial with the guy that committed the crime. Then we had to deal with the unemployment. See, they fought me for unemployment. They didn't want to pay me unemployment. They fought me with workman's comp. They told us to our face they weren't going to pay us a dime. And now, but everything so far we got done, and now we're at the EOC where we got approved, and after they did their investigation, they did find the company guilty in court. So we are at the next level.
Question, brother. In regards to your company, right? Because I'm here, they found the company guilty.
Correct.
In regards to the company, what was the official, the determining of your position? What led to the, on paper, what they put in terms to cause your termination?
They said because I was out on medical leave. They wanted me to file for FMLA, but FMLA don't pay you, so I didn't file for FMLA. They were supposed to pay me workman's comp because it happened on the job. I was under 3 different psychiatric care. They put me on medication. So at that time when it first happened, I wasn't even able to go to work because every time I thought about getting up in the morning to go to work, my stomach was in knots. I was in a depression mode. I was, sleeping in a dark room. So I couldn't even get myself together because of the fact it did happen at the work. Even at that time, they didn't have, like I said, no cameras, no security. They didn't even have the proper paperwork up there for where, discrimination that happened at work or any violence at work. They had none of that up there.
Okay. This just hearing it, the first key that's gonna open that door. Go back to the unemployment agency and ask them and tell them to provide you with a printout of what the employment the company you work for gave them rationale for not paying you, for terminating you, and not saying that you should be eligible. And that's what's gonna show intent and motive.
Right. Well, we did that. So after 6 months after I didn't work, the company, we had another hearing, and so within this time they had already changed their story 4 different times. So then the white guy tried to make like, they were just trying to lasso me to the chair. So the commissioner asked him then, well, how often does that happen? That's still, how you going to tie somebody up at work? That's crazy. So that's when they found them guilty. So that's when I was able to get unemployment. But then I was only able to get unemployment for 6 months, and then they cut me off from that.
So I'm only saying and asking that because I had an issue, and it's not in regards to your story with the whole all that, but it was in regards to denial of the unemployment. Right. It was basically the statement that the employer gave them, right?
Right. Yep.
And they'll do shit like I was terminated, but on paper, the prayer they gave them it was labeled as if I quit.
Right. That's yep. They tried that with me, but within the hearing they caught them in a lie. So that's how I was able to win that, because when the guy questioned him, he had changed his story again. So he said, well, here, one time you said this, now you're saying this. So they knew they were lying. So that's how I was able to gain unemployment for 6 months. But then after 6 months, I was cut off.
What was the reading paperwork?
That's with the government. That's all they were given for the state of Connecticut. You only could apply for 6 months, and then I could go back in 6 more months. That would have been this month, October. But I just recently gained employment 2 weeks ago. So I didn't need to go back now. But for another whole 6 months, I wasn't getting any income in.
Right. That's the paper trail. Yeah.
Yep.
Did your church offer you any financial assistance, boss? They ain't even offer to say, hey man, you need your rent paid or anything we can do on the finance, knowing that you said you got children, or you got.
Yep. Right now I owe back rent $10,000.
Whoa.
If it wasn't for, I'm telling you, man, this is how bad and crucial stuff was. And again, this is where the Lord come in, and the Bible says that we train our kids up in the way they should go, and when they get old, they won't depart. My oldest son is 31 years old. He's married, got his own family. They own a house. Yo, if my son wasn't there for me, I'm telling you, my kids are the only one that gave me financial help. That's it. And I still wasn't able to pay any of my rent, but the people there, they did have compassion. And, my lawyer sent them letters, let them know what I was going through and everything. So still right now, I owe them $10,000 back rent. So I wasn't even able to pay no rent. Couldn't pay my car note or nothing. But my kids were able to help me out with what they did.
That's powerful. So I say right there, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you, my kids, my oldest son and my kids, I'm telling you, that's all I had. That was it. And the friends that I thought I had, that I know could have helped me, would not help me. Would not help me. Even some of my ones I thought were my good friends wouldn't even help me. Didn't even call to see if I needed anything. Was everything okay? I know they seen it in the newspaper, didn't say a word to me.
What you think their reasoning was behind kind of just betraying you, boss? Do you think it was scared, or what do you think it was? Why they wouldn't step up?
I'm telling you, I have no idea. Like one of my friends, we've been friends forever, and now that I'm just getting on my feet, this nigga gonna tell me, oh, give him a call. I said, give you a call. I'm like, nigga, I can delete your number on my phone.
No doubt.
You want to call me? You want to talk to me? You should have been calling me. Why I need to call you?
You see how though everybody who thought that you thought was down with you got exposed when the shit hit the fan, so to speak.
Yeah, they all got exposed. So now I know exactly who's who, and who's for me, who ain't for me. I know now.
Yeah,
that's a blessing. That's a blessing in and of itself, big bro.
Stay on that. Make it. Paint the picture where it's more than an individual employee complaining about a message. Put it in regard to the media and the media portrayal and the disciplinary actions don't fall in accord with logical behavior. It shows criminal intent with motive, right?
Yeah, that's it. Because Channel 8 here on the news, they wouldn't even take my story.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even take the story. But even when this incident happened, the Ku Klux Klan came out. Now, they put that part on the news. See, before they would let mine come out, the Ku Klux Klan came out, and in Orange, Connecticut, and Milford, they were throwing flyers out in their driveway saying they weren't going to tolerate certain stuff that went on in their community in the era. Now, this when they heard about, they tried to hang me. But the news put that part, but they wouldn't put why they put the flyers out.
Mm-hmm. Corporate, political, social hate propaganda. Victim.
Sister Camille. I thought I heard Sister Camille saying something earlier. I thought she had a question earlier, but got cut.
Yo, if you got anything you want to know, ask me. I'm telling you, I'm letting everything out. Everything.
No, that's what we need. We need some openness. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, and I definitely commend you for that. You know what I mean? Especially, when you say you went down to go see Al Sharpton down at the National Action Network,
right?
A place that me myself have frequented in past years. I frequented the place. I know in this time it is very difficult to get at Al his own self due to the fact that Al is now more politically connected, more governmentally connected, and more inclined to do the agenda of those who run media. And media-wise, it's very difficult to put out stories on the black man being bullied by the white man, because as we see anytime a story normally comes out, and we have to have the gorilla, big bad black man, this is why something happened to him. And because of the way the story was, there was no way that they could spin it as though you were part of the blame for what was happening. I mean,
they definitely was trying to.
So it was harder for them to put it out there as put it out there in the national media format, where it had a black man as an actual good man doing the right thing and being taken advantage of by a company that had a family inside of it and allowing something like this to go on. That thing about family being there, I definitely understand why you said that it was difficult for you to go back, because if you suspend him and his brother-in-law, daughter, all these type of people, they all work there. Now I got beef with everybody.
Exactly. So who's to say they wouldn't have hanged me the next time I went?
Already.
Exactly. So no way I was gonna put myself back there and give them another chance.
Well, exactly, because what George Bush say? Fool me once, shame on you.
That's right.
Fool me twice. You can't fool me. You can't fool me for one time.
Okay.
Real shit, you can't allow them to fool you twice with no shit like that. Because if you was
I wasn't gonna give them a second chance. No way.
Nah, you can't do that. You can't do that. It'd be like, we tough. You know what I'm saying? You always have to see strategically what you can do in a situation like that. And only recourse you would have at a job like that to go back was to be on and go out like Omar Thornton at the job. And you know what I'm saying? And that wasn't the recourse for that time, to go out like Omar Thornton right there.
Right.
But we definitely need this information put out all over.
Yep. I'm telling you, it's something to talk about. I'm telling you. And
brother.
Yes, go ahead.
First of all, I just want you to know my heart really goes out to you. I cannot imagine what you had to be going through when you experienced that. I mean, it's I think the illusion of inclusion came to life today for you when that.
Hold on 1 second, Sister Camille. Hold on. Brother Cole, we got some background noise. Somebody got something going on in their background. If you could, mute your mic if you got noise going on in the background. Thank you. Go ahead, Sister Camille.
I wanted to ask you, in the article that I read about this, it did mention that he had family working there, by the way, which is quite interesting. But it said that you came there through an agency, an employment agency. Is that correct?
Correct. I got hired there through Monroe Staffing, through an agency, and so I went there. They reviewed my application and everything. They liked my application, so I went there on a temp service for 3 months. After that, they liked my performance and what I was doing, so they hired me then.
Why I ask that, because I find it interesting that this is a company, obviously, that, as you said, you were the only African that was employed there. So that's telling in itself. And I'm wondering if when they saw your name from that temp agency.
They interviewed me first before they hired me. I went to the company for an interview first.
No, I heard that part. But the fact that you even got to that doorway, I'm wondering if it's because you have a name that does not lend to your ethnicity.
Right, yeah.
Considering that you were the only African that worked there.
Right, yeah. Everybody thought it was strange, but I thought that I needed a job and I was able to do the work. I wasn't scared that I was the only African that worked there. But, and I always kept my guard up, watched myself, but I would have never, ever in my wildest dreams thought it would end up to this kind of extent. And, it was, Puerto Ricans worked there. It was majority the Polish people, and then again, I was the only African American that worked there. So, I don't know.
And you were in a management position, is that correct?
And I was in a management position, but they paid me hourly because they would not give me the title. You know how you're in the management position, and on my door, it had somebody else's name up there, not mine.
That's quite telling, too, as well, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. But, again, I was in a position at that time I needed a job. My other job was oil. My mom was taken ill, and so I was in Pennsylvania for a little while, and I came back, and again, like I said, I have children, I had grandchildren, so, I needed to get back to work. So I went through the temp agency. They got me the job, and I did see certain things. That's why I always kept myself covered, and I got myself, but still, I'm not thinking nothing like that, and again, I could defend myself, but I would have never thought in my wildest dreams they would come at me like that. Never. That was the last thing from my mind.
The sister said something that was a key little term that once was thrown out. The illusion of inclusion. And this is something that we all tend to come down with. We all tend to come down with the blinders, not because we want to. We being that we stand on guard and on point, but through just manipulation of how we see and perceive the world, it has us believe that we can go into places like this and that it might work out.
Yeah.
There's no way that something like this could happen.
Right.
And we always, time and time again, we find ourselves in this type of situation right here. This is telling us something as a people.
Right.
So this is what I'm looking at it. This is telling us something as a people, exactly what needs to be going on. And that's something that I think that maybe through a little bit of time, but I don't know how you've seen it and perceiving it, but I'm just looking at the racism, white supremacy as a full onslaught and something that you just went through, and that a lot of this bullshit is just perpetuated because we are so religious in our thought, because we wanted everybody to be all right.
Right.
It's all equality. We want to be equal.
Right. And I hear what you're saying, and at that time I didn't look at it like that because, like you said, we want things to be right. We want to be able to get along with people. We want to be able to work with different cultures and learn different stuff and do more. So that's why, maybe to the extent I was blind in that part, but again, I didn't grow up in that era, so I didn't really know about it. I never experienced anything, so I didn't know. But I see now, but I didn't know then.
No, that's understandable, man. We all
Brother Bourne.
Yeah.
For myself, I wanted to make a quick comment because this brother calls. I've been listening, man, and there's some I'm gonna say this: when you told us that the crackers had went and told the rest of the employees that they were gonna go in the warehouse and hang you, and then they came out afterwards to see you was alive. All the motherfuckers is guilty. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's some old lynch mob shit right there.
Oh yeah, cause
you know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, if they did hang you, then those coworkers still would have came out, saw you hung. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the amount of people in that space was, you know what I'm saying? But for them to come out, you know, looking to see you hung and you not hung, that means that they had an extensive conversation. And, you know, in this day and age, you're dealing with most people don't see the intent. You know, the cracker is a beast, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
He's looking for any opportunity to get you. And in that sense, it's a matter of how connected and how easy it is for them to do it. For them to not have cameras and all that, you know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know if you know the history of the company, but maybe that needs to be something considered too, as far as any other issues that they had historically with black people. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, we did look into that. We're looking into that too, and to see were there any other. But right now, I even went back to the temp agency that hired me and asked him, you know, did he normally send other, you know, African Americans there or what? But he said he never had any of that trouble, and not to his knowledge. They claim other ones have worked there, but none of them was there when I was there. But trust me, I bet there's one working there now. They got something up in there now, from what I hear.
Yeah, I bet you they do.
Yeah.
Got plenty now.
Yeah.
They got the silver get right.
They got some up in there now.
Brother, I got, you know, Sister Camille said something about your name, and another thing, you know, you're saying that about the reason why you might have been able to get into the door is that they first looked at, when they look at the application, seeing the name, they automatically felt better looking at it. Then once you get there, you know, I know how to tell them who do. Once you get there and they know that you done looked around and you done had the meeting there, you ain't seen none of y'all there anyway, then automatically, if I don't get this job, y'all just fire me. If y'all done brought me in and I got the best credentials, or you don't hire me and you just skip over me, I might could pull the race card on y'all because y'all don't got none of us in here. So they might have helped you get in. And the only reason I think that that's something that might be true is because Brother Claus went through something like that his own self because of his last name. That I told him that when they called him in because his last name is Ben Elohim. And when they seen Ben Elohim, they thought that he was a white man. And when I looked out, they thought he was a white man. But when he came into the office, it's an office full of nothing but white people. And he was being called in for a supervisor position in the office. This is what his positions were made up of. But once the employer seen Brother Claus come in the door, he didn't even allow Brother Claus to sit down. He handed Brother Claus his application and told him he lied on the application in the lead.
Wow.
As soon as he seen him. See, because he's never seen him. But as soon as he seen him, he was like, nah, this can't be you. You lied on your application. Because Brother Claus' credentials were so good.
Right, yep. That is something. Wow. I mean, it could be some truth to it, too.
Now, we have to always be, tight on the little details. There's little details that always they tell the tale of the story.
Yeah, well, trust me, I've learned my lesson now. I'm on it now, that's for sure.
I got a question. How are you now around white people? Groups and things like that. Do you eat out in public around white folks?
Now I can see everything with them. Every time they're trying to be slick, every time they try to make a little remark, no good crackers. I see everything now. Trust me. I ain't saying I'm not trying to hate nobody. Don't hate them. But now I know how they really do. I see everything with them. They don't mean it's no good. None.
Black power.
I swear on that, baby. I swear.
Black power eyes came on. Wait a minute.
I see.
It's not going to take a lot of that shit right there. See, this is one of the things that the Tim who don't understand. Now, that sometimes his arrogance, I'm glad that he's as arrogant as he is. Because he's not understanding that when we turn our damn eyes on, they're going to be on. We're not going to turn off on what the fuck's going on. And that's why we get that's why we got things that's going that's not stopping, that keep festering. Because you can't turn everybody's eyes off to this shit, man. Once their eyes pop open to it, you know good. You ain't got to worry about if it's one of you, two of you. We lump y'all in the group together and you figure out which ones is good.
Yep.
Y'all figure it out. They ain't got no. I don't need to figure out which ones is good. Y'all just group yourself together over there and y'all figure it out between yourselves. Do some good shit between y'all.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying now. I don't trust none of them.
Neither one. You know. Okay.
But in the beginning, was it a criminal? Was there a criminal case against the guys who did it? Like, did you try to file for hate crime, or was it all kept up under like an employment type of situation?
We tried to file. That's where, and after we finished with the company, we're going back to revisit the Orange Police Department because of the fact they wouldn't charge them with a hate crime. They wouldn't charge them with even horseplay on the job.
Well,
like I said, it's even against the law to make a hangman's noose. They wouldn't even charge them with that.
Did they say why?
Charge them with attempt to murder or nothing. They charge them with disorderly conduct.
A misdemeanor? A misdemeanor?
Yeah, a misdemeanor, yep. He's going to walk away. He walks with a misdemeanor. After he threatened my life. Didn't even get him for that, nothing. So that's where, after we finish with the company, we're going to go and revisit the Orange Police Department. Oh, I'm not done with them yet. Oh, no.
No question.
They'll see me again.
Well, one thing I saw in that article that they could not deny was that the rope was in a circular formation, the cops themselves, and they described it as being like a garden hose.
Yeah,
They can't deny it. They tried to, but they could not deny the fact that that rope was not straight, and it was formed in a circular fashion of a noose.
Yep. And it was already premeditated because they brought that rope from home. It wasn't nothing on the job. We don't even use ropes. They try to make like the rope was already there in my department for 2 years. Come on. They brought that rope from home. Their intentions were to hang me, just like they said.
What? They brought
that from home. It wasn't there. They brought that rope from home.
Because the story was rolled up like it was the shit was there at the job. It's like shit that's at the job. They, and I see where he said they formed it into a noose. Like one of them said something else, and then the other one said it was a noose.
Yeah.
So they had them quoted with that. So you know what I'm saying? But you said they brought that shit from home. Well, yeah, that's exactly what was up.
They brought that from home. See, and then they try to make like it was there from 2 years ago. I ran that whole department by myself. I created that department just about. And so I cleaned everything up, changed everything around for the way that it would work for me to work. And now even the bosses lied, my supervisor lied, talking about, well, it was a piece of rope that was there. Then one time in the court they said, it was a rope they used to pull a piece of equipment. How you going to pull a piece of metal with a rope? There's no level in there.
Yeah.
It's a rope that they kept their workbench. Now all of a sudden the rope disappeared. So where's the rope at now?
Right.
All the evidence.
It don't matter if the rope was there or not.
Not too high. Yeah, give a fuck.
The rope have to do with it. It was intent. Scissors are off places. This is what you do with the scissors. You know what I'm saying? What is the intent?
Was there some animosity, Big Bro, behind the fact that you was managing that department? Would you think that had something to do with it too? That was like this black man, this nigga is running this department like this nigga can't be my boss.
Yeah, because like I said, one guy was the janitor, the other guy, only thing he did was run parts, get parts and stuff. So yeah, they were wondering. They were like, how Django was. What that nigga doing on that horse? That's what that was.
See what that nigga doing on that nag.
What that nigga, Jamie Foxx on Django. What that nigga doing up on the horse?
Samuel Jackson. Say what that nigga doing on that nag.
Okay, that's what. So yeah, I know was some animosity about that, but they kept it all undercover till they got me alone and tried. They did.
Now, how long did that scuffle last, Big Bro? Did you remember, did it last for 3-5 minutes, or did you kind of lose track of what was going on, just trying to get the hell up out of there, or what?
Yeah, it was, because it happened. I was standing there maybe a couple of minutes that I remember. Because I'm telling you, even within that time, my life just like flashed in front of me. Because I'm telling you, I thought they were going to take me out.
Did you lose consciousness?
I really believe I blacked out. I kind of left myself then because when I did come back, you know, they were gone.
And nobody was around? Nobody was around you?
Nobody was there, nope.
Damn, that's crazy.
I think your problem was you were too good at the job. You didn't give them any reasons to terminate you because it's like Brother Cause had brought up. Everybody apparently knew about this going down, and it's also interesting that no management happened to be there that day.
No management. Yep, no management. Nope.
That's very interesting.
Yep. And that's what it was because I was running a department by myself, and then they would still try to have me go help somebody. I'm like, what? Yeah, because I knew what I was doing. I knew my job, and I knew it well than them because, like I said, there was a janitor, and the other one was a part runner. So I knew they were hating on me then. They were hating on me because of the car I drive. They would complain about the clothes I wore to work. Why I got my good clothes on? I like good clothes.
You remember what position you woke up in, bro, when you came to? I know I don't want to, try to make you think too hard on it.
Given his age, they ain't even respect you, you know what I'm saying, in terms of your experience. They even consider, I might know a little something because I've been around.
Right. Yep. They didn't care about that, no. But they wanted to try to work me like a slave. I was like, oh, no, you ain't doing that. But I'm going to do my job, and I did it well. And then everything they tried to give me, I was able to accomplish it. And it was like, you know, I just knew what I knew. And I did what I knew what I had to do.
What was the first thing you did when you came to, bro? Like when I
first came back to myself, you know how stuff happens. You try to shake it off and you try to let it go. Because again, I'm the only black that worked there. I'm like, God, who gonna believe me that they did this? And so I was scared. I ain't lying. I was scared. I was nervous. I didn't know what to do. I'm telling you, I didn't know what to do because I was scared. I was nervous. And for me to go tell her, the only black, who gonna believe me? But what happened was when I did get myself together and when I went into the other building, that when they came running up to me, Chief, they didn't hang you? I thought they were going to hang you in the warehouse. And I was like, what? That thing hit me like a brick wall, I'm telling you. Crushed me.
And your ancestors is trying to reach out to you, trying to bring you home for whatever the reason. Brother Bourne, I just want to say it's so good to hear your voice. And I'm just thrilled that you are driving the car tonight. Should I say the RBG, crack in the trunk vehicle. And, Brother Bourne, you're right about the small hat regarding this company because there was someone, I can't pull the article up right now, but there was someone that was associated with upper management with the last name Fine, F-E-I-N.
Right, Yep. He was the CEO of the company, and he lied. Come find out, he was the owner of he's part owner of the company.
Here we go.
He's part owner of the company.
You knew it was going to be a hat in the mix. I knew it was going to be a hat in the mix. As soon as you said a Polish company, because all that Polish stuff is run by Small Hat.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's their land. That's the Small Hat land. Them Khazars is up in Poland, and then branched out from there when they started coming over there to Connecticut, because Connecticut is a Jew state. It really is.
Because we found out, and then, with that company, it's a small company, but the bigger company is out in California.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going after that little company, but we're going after the big company.
Mm-hmm.
They the one that got all the money. They got to pay for this one. They got to pay.
Right. Yeah. Big bro, you said you got up, you went across to the other building, and then people was coming up to you saying they didn't hang you, and then what?
I thought they were going to hang you. I was like, what? And they laughed in my face. I'm telling you. They like, they didn't hang you, Chief. They didn't hang you in the warehouse. I thought they was going to hang you in the warehouse. So they all already knew what these other two guys were going to do. And that thing.
Is this all crackers are telling you this? Or what?
All crackers. Yes, sir. All crackers.
The Puerto Ricans, too.
They were all crackers.
But no Puerto Ricans, no indigenous peoples.
None of the it was none of the Puerto Ricans. It was all the crackers. None of the Puerto Ricans said nothing. But one of the Puerto Rican guys came to me and he did say, you know, he asked me to forgive him because he didn't know what happened, but he didn't know how to tell me. So he had knew too, but he didn't tell me what happened and that they were going to do it. That was from one of the Puerto Rican guys. Or the white guy, the one that came up to me and asked me, yo, they didn't hang you. I thought they were going to hang you. Now, only after it happened and when I didn't come back to work, the Puerto Rican guy did call me and he apologized because he knew. Oh.
Mm-hmm. When did you make your police report, bro? Like the same day, or you waited a couple of days? You try to keep it between your employer, or you went right to the police with it, or what? Or you waited till you got some news?
The police, yeah. I went to the police on that Monday.
So when the incident took place when?
The incident took place on Thursday. Okay. I had a meeting with the company on Friday. They didn't do nothing, so I went to the police department Monday.
Okay.
Because they weren't, when I asked them what were they going to do about it, because I thought they were going to fire the guys and get rid of them, they told me they didn't want to make any hasty decisions. That's when I went to the police department.
When you first realized integration was a lie. Because, you know, that's our problem. A lot of us that are in these workplaces, regardless if you are considered a non-professional or professional or semi-professional, we are under that illusion that we are that we are citizens. Right. And in reality, we are not.
We're not.
If we come to terms with that, we won't have the kind of unity that you are lacking in this instance, brother. And I'm sorry that that's the case right now. Hopefully that will change. But that's an awakening. That's why I said I hope you do some real soul searching, particularly reading about your history, our history in this country, because your ancestors are calling you for a reason. Had that incident not occurred, what would your mind state be today?
Right. I wouldn't look at them the way I did. I would, you know, I don't know. I just, because of the fact, I guess, you know, I knew about it, I've heard about it, but I've never experienced it right here on me like that. And I did even in the process that, you remember the story with Emmett Till? How I was in Mississippi and they pulled him out of the house and beat him? Mm-hmm. His cousin that was with him at that time, I even met him a couple since then. And he is 65 years old today, and I was able to take pictures with him and just sit down with him, and he was sharing with me what it was like back in that time and what Emmett Till went through and how they beat him when he came from Chicago to see his grandfather. And like then he didn't think nothing white and black at that time. He was a kid, so he was innocent, and because he whistled at a white woman, they tortured him. Not knowing that, you know, that would cost him his life, or that's something that black and white don't do. He came from Chicago. He didn't know. And that same night, them white men went in his house, dragged him out of his house, beat him to death, and tied a fan around his neck and threw him in the river. And again, the guys told me how our own people would sit out there on the porch and just look and hear them scream and how they tortured them, and nobody did nothing. Because then, I guess, that time, they was afraid for their life. They would have killed them.
Yeah, good job.
So a lot of that stuff, I consider myself like that. I didn't know. I never experienced it. I didn't even, I heard about it. I just didn't know at that time. But now, it's a whole different light. I just didn't know how bad. I knew things were bad. I didn't know they were that bad.
When you went to the police, big bro, what was their demeanor when you made your police report? Was they like, what was their demeanor?
Of course, they act like they was concerned, I remember the guy that took the police report. I got his name, got his card and everything, wrote everything down. But when I got it back, it was something totally different again. They act like they were concerned. And then, of course, in that town, only one black cop worked there. And that day, he was not there. And all the rest of them white.
So they basically doctored your report, the complaint that you made. They doctored it and put some bullshit down there, shit you never even said. It wasn't the actual depiction.
They might have kept most of everything I put down, but when they went to them, they dressed theirs up and they're talking about, almost made like it was their word against my word. And they couldn't make. I'm sorry?
It is. Again, we are not citizens. And that is the reality we got to come to terms with. It's hard for us. It's hard for us to deal with that because, you know, we went through the school system. We do believe in integration, even though, like you had mentioned before, there were a few instances where you had, racial, I'm going to call it racial verbal assaults, where you were called a black boy or something like that you had mentioned. And that was a sign there. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't to the extent of which you unfortunately experienced.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Brother, it's your job now. I think it's really your job to really read our history, particularly in America. You know, I don't know if you want to go back to the fact that we are the first people on the planet and, you know, go to our ancient history to the present time. But you definitely really, I'm not saying that you haven't, but, you know, if you're not, you really, it's beholden to you to read up on that history, particularly the lynching of our black men, because for other white people to have known about that and knowing what lynching signifies in this country, when you hear lynching, for me, I think I see a black man's face. And then second, I may see a black woman. But I see somebody black.
Right, exactly. Yep.
So they have to know.
Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
No, and you are right, and I have, since that happened, I have been doing more reading on it and looking into it more and learning more about it than I ever had before. Because, like I said, then, you know, I heard about it, I've seen it, you know, we see movies and stuff, but it's just totally different now because it was right here on me and how it really affected me. I mean, I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. This will be with me for the rest of my life. So it has put me in a different place in my life. And, you know, even I look at things, I value my life even totally different before than I did before. And even with my kids and my grandkids, it's just a whole eye-opener. It's something different that I didn't see before.
Wow. Oh. I just want to tell you, I want to commend your bravery for standing up and fighting and demanding justice in this case. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, and trust me, it wasn't easy, and it's not something I really want to do, but my spirit, it was just, could not let it rest. Either I would have had to kill myself or I would have to stand up. I'm telling you, that's how severe and how bad this thing is. It's like, you know, when you're going to stand up for what's right. It just went, and now with time.
Don't just do that. You should take a couple dozen with you, family, if you're going to get to that low level. I ain't encouraging your but don't get to that point where you feel that lonely, because just look up and say you're part of something bigger, my nigga, you know what I'm saying? Regarding that, this ain't just happening to me.
Right. Yep, I know.
Everybody got that same look on their face that it go beyond what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's really a guilt trip that's forced on me that, you know, I ain't trying to, you know, where it's a double reality. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. No, I'm doing better with it, and, you know, because I want to live. I don't want to die. I want to live. So I'm just saying, you know, with the struggle and all, and, you know, the memories, and to keep reliving it, and I know, you know, with the help of God, I'm able to continue to stand and to go forth and to see the justice to get done to it. And to be able to help somebody else, because like you said, it ain't just me, and it's unfortunately, it might going to happen to somebody else, and hopefully I could be there to help to encourage somebody or to guide them or to strengthen them, to stand up to do the right thing.
Yeah. And take the mentality, too, like, they fucked up because they should have hung me.
Yeah. And then that's when I would have got all the publicity and everything. Then it would have been on the news and everywhere, I guess.
See, you may have to provoke that because they're looking for, you know what I'm saying? You going to have to, what the brother was saying. The brother was saying, he was talking about King, Dr. King, right? He was an African brother. He said, you got to admit, he was playing psychology jiu-jitsu. He was hitting them with the Bible and the Constitution.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, like King did hit him with that. That's a double guilt trip and the nonviolent. They ain't know how to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So thinking in terms of, well, don't kill me, make me stronger. So they fucked up. They hung me. Now they fucked. You know what I'm saying? Now they really fucked over. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming.
That's it. You got that. That's it. I'm coming. Yes, sir. Yep. That's the story, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm really glad that I'm able to, because before, I'm telling you, this is really actually one of the first times that I can really talk about it, and kind of the most I've ever got out to say, verbally, and to actually it helps give me a release to continue to go on, to be encouraged and know that, there is somebody, because like right here where I am, to me, it was nobody, because they right here, and you would, expect more from people, your neighbors or even your family sometimes, your friends that you thought your friends, and then something like this happened and they ain't there. But I am grateful, that I had this opportunity to share with you guys, to talk, that you were able to hear me and to listen and, to encourage me, and just know that somebody else is there and that somebody else do care about what's going on.
Yeah. Take it in perspective like this, like we taught capital individualism, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta look sometimes when they hear even something that's right in regards to how you go about achieving that goal of correcting it, they can see it as being an individual strive towards his growth economically, right?
Yep.
You got to do some jitsu with that. You take it beyond that. See what, I'm using Dr. King because, we all know about him. You know what I mean? Dr. King, even some of the flaws he's made and the greats he's made. One thing he did, man, when he won the Nobel Peace Prize and they gave him like 55 racks.
Yeah.
He donated shit to the Civil Rights Movement.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be bought. Bob Marley said the same thing. He couldn't be bought.
Right.
Because, you know what I'm saying? Meaning the fact that y'all did this and did in the fashion of portraying death, basically death ritual on my ancestors and didn't kill me.
Exactly.
Karma's coming. Now it's coming in a fashion where I got a new job.
Yep.
Thank
you.
you.
There you go. Yep. And even with, like you talking about buying us off, and believe it or not, even they tried to buy my attorney off behind my back.
Yeah, just keep all that shit documented, because the more they defend and cause flaws, the more they show that shit was all.
Oh yeah. If you could have been there the time we've been to court, I'm telling you. If you
listen, brother, you might, that. Oh man.
Because them sending you to Al Sharpton, what's the effectiveness? In regards to, you got to really question these niggas on titles under religious pretexts and how they're supposed to serve the community and how white folks send you there. You know what I'm saying? You telling us about the feds telling you it's out of their hands. It's a civil issue. You know what I mean? You attack that employee book that they gave you and check them at their own man, because remember when you sign contracts, even when you go for employment, if you're working at Wiener Schnitzel or fucking Taco Bell, anything, you under UCC code. So your disciplinary acts won't be that of individual. It'll be that under the organization you serve. Meaning
right.
they're gonna take the blame for it, then they're gonna pay, then they're gonna punish you. That's
right.
double protection. That's limited liability. Police are limited liability companies, and that's real talk.
Yep, you're right. You're right. Something crazy.
Well, please make sure you get that information about that sneaker drive you're doing, because I have tons of sneakers.
Yeah, shoes, sneakers, boots, whatever, any shoe, anywhere. I also have a Facebook page you could go on, and I have the website is Racial Trauma in Orange, and it has Whitedale Sims. And so we have a page there, and we try to keep that updated of what's going on and what's coming up and things that we're doing also. So you could look at that. And like I said, I have a Facebook page with just that, with Racial Trauma in Orange. And you can connect on that. And we're in the process of putting all that up there too, so people can see that. And we've been, sending that out to all my friends. And maybe you can link up with that, and then you can share it with your friends, because both articles are up there. We did a couple of news articles. One of those are up there. We had a couple of things we did on CTV that we're trying to put up there also now, where people could get that information also. So we are working on different things and trying to come up more ways of getting it out there more abroad, so more people will know about it.
Make sure you keep
I'm just going to say, don't be too hard on your people that are still asleep, because, like you mentioned, when that was happening to the brother Emmett Till, apparently there were black people in that area that heard the screams and didn't do anything. And the reality is that for most of us, when these racial attacks happen, we don't do nothing, until we are awoken, and then we get involved. So that's the same situation mentally that's where your friends are at mentally, and other black people that are in your immediate area. You know what I'm saying? So take that into consideration, you know what I mean, when you're thinking about them or their lack of action.
Yeah, and I did, and it took me a minute, and I learned, and I'm not holding any grudges with anybody. I still, see them cordial, but it's just a way now where I deal with them different. I'm not mad. I'm not holding no grudges. It's just now, see, I'm a person where I'm loyal to what I say and what I do and the people that's in my circle. And so, you treat people, you do unto them as you want them to do unto you.
There you go.
And so that's how I am. That's the type of person I am. And for this to happen to me, it knocked me down, it shook me, but I had to come back to myself. And, it ain't about them people. It's about me, and it's about what God's doing through me and what he's using me for and part of my purpose in life. So it's just now I just deal with them different. We not kicking it like we used to. I speak when I see you, but we ain't hanging out. It's just that way. Sorry.
That's what's up, bro. They ain't down for you, man. They was down. They could at least come to court, baby boy.
I think that you what I'm trying to say is a little bit more broader than that. I would hope that you would try to take that opportunity to actually share the information that you've now gathered about your history, our history in this country, black people history in this country, and try to wake them up. Because, see, I'm from a state where when I was a kid, we had a sister who was raped by 4 white men, and you did not have the black community rise up. And it seems to me like the only time you get the black community that is working their job, keeping their head down because they're not really getting hit with racism in a direct way. They may deal with it get it indirectly, but not in a direct manner. That they do not reach out to that black person that got attacked directly by racism. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, before that happened to you, where you got to think where you was at mentally.
Right.
That's how I try to see myself.
Right. I hear you. Yeah. But that's one of my goals that I am working on and trying to get out there and trying to let us as a people to be aware that this stuff is still happening, and it's really happening, and it's real. And so, yeah, we need to wake up now because it's right here in the front yard now, right in front of us. And it ain't going nowhere unless we continue to come together, stick together, and like you said, realize, we got to be helpers of one another. It ain't about just me, my children, my family, but it's about you, the other person, the people down the street also. So I am trying to get it out there. Like I said, that's why I'm reaching out now, and I want to be I want to be a helper. And so I'm learning now how to do that, how to get the connection and where I should be and what I need to be doing to make something like this happen.
Yeah.
So I hear you. I'm working on that.
One door closed, the other one open.
Yep, that's it.
Dr. Clark advocated that we need to get back to fundamental infrastructure building, textile, cloth, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Producing shoes.
Yep.
A lot of people ain't got shoes on their feet.
Right. Exactly.
Hey, I'm telling you, fam, you'd be surprised at the avenue that's opening up just in regards to that may be more fruitful than the company who betrays you.
Yeah.
And it's advocated in the workforce. Promotion is betrayal.
Yep.
In regards to making sure we know that already. Making sure you don't keep it too buddy with employees.
Right. And that's what I did. It was never. That's what I'm saying. It was never none of that. Kept it strictly business, work related. That's where I kept it at. But
yeah, your work ethic and their punishment regarding the so-called incident, whether they, I'm familiar with semantics Europeans use in regards to what's the term they give youngsters when horseplay.
Yeah, is it? What you talking about? Yeah, horseplay. You talking about?
Yeah. They even titled this in regards to brothers having incidences in prison. Horseplay. What the fuck is that?
Okay.
Yeah, I got a question, brother. I got a question before you get off the line. What was your attorney's name again?
Her name is Attorney Carolyn Stewart.
Yo, let me tell you. Like I said, hold up. This the same, right? Her last name used to be Smith. Well, it was like a hyphenated like that before, right?
Yes.
Let me think. Maybe about 16 years ago, she got me off on a case, yo.
Oh, really?
Word life, she got me off on a case, yo.
Wow, that's what's up.
Yeah, I was caught up doing some stuff, and she got me. Well, at the end of the day, she got me like some special type of parole, and we're at the end of it, so they wipe the case clean.
Wow. Okay.
So, right. And I was caught red-handed all the way to the key.
Wow. And she got you off.
I was got me off, and I did 1 year of intensive parole, and they threw 7 out the door. They said, I'm out here. I said, oh, man, this is beautiful. And I was on the street.
Okay.
I did in jail and a year on the program.
Wow.
And that I was going to take, period. I knew I was going to take 7.
Remember this too, man. You went to some of your peoples with the clergy, and they told you, we under this 501c3, and this might mess up our money if we was to come out and support you. So It's not by coincidence that they left you hanging. So it's not that they didn't understand what was going on and they were scared or whatever. They was like, we're not going to lose our money from fucking with you. So you got to understand that they sold you out, bro. They sold you out. Period. And I was asking, are you getting harassed at all? Like threats? People calling you from that job or people you used to work with threatening you about bullshit?
No, I haven't got any of that.
Okay, well, watch your back, man. Keep that still on deck.
Oh, yeah.
You never know.
I
know.
watch my surroundings and where I'm at, and, you know, I don't, not hanging out late, all that crazy stuff, so I've been cautious. You never know.
Keep your quick filled to the tip, boss. Don't sleep without that piece, and you feel me?
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you something about the church. Let me tell you something about that church when you say that about why the church can't say anything. The church cannot go against anything that's government policy.
Right. There you go. Yeah.
Government policy for us to be slaughtered out here. That's part of policy. And so that's why they couldn't say anything, because it's against the policies of the United States.
Yeah. But he said they didn't even give him no funding. Like, they didn't even ask him if he needed help with his rent. None of that shit. They like...
None of that.
Correct? Ain't that what you said, bro? They just pretty much turned their back on you for the most part, right?
Yeah, none of that. None of it.
Out. They sold you out. It's cool, though. Now you see the light. Now it's not like the sister said, it's time for you to move to the next plateau of spirituality. And if you're ready for that, you know, that's the ancestors. He's saying the ancestors is calling you. Because what you're playing, you know, with the religious aspect, it's not necessarily, you know what I'm saying, it's not complete, man. Your cipher ain't complete just following that book. You know what I'm saying? It's time to go to the next level.
Yep,
so
I understand.
No question. All right. But like I said, I'm proud of you, too. I'm glad Brother Carls and the rest of the panel brought you on, man, because that's shit that needs to be brought out when stuff like this is happening, because I know it's limited amount of media or limited venues that you can go to speak this story, man.
Right,
you know?
Exactly.
So I appreciate the panel for handling that business. Appreciate you for coming out telling your story, and I'm glad that you was able to kick it to the fullest extent.
Right. Thank you.
It's not.
Yeah, Brother James. Brother James. Solomon out there? Who's Solomon? Brother Heru out there?
Peace, it's Brother Solomon. I'm still out here.
What's going on?
I'm out there.
Everybody had a couple things, you know, you wanted to make sure that you're established before the brother got off the line. You know, we don't want to hold him too late. We hold him late as possible, though.
Well, I just want to, you know, commend him for giving, you know, his side of the story, and just an indication of, you know, obviously, masses of us think that we don't live in this post-racial society. You know, this is another indication of, you know, an ongoing struggle that we have with the system of white supremacy. And it's incumbent of him to continue to begin to give his testimony, because that, you know, we got a lot of other people that is listening that, you know, is going to bring everything back home into the reality in which we live in. So I thank the brother for coming on.
Oh, sure.
No doubt.
Brother Hazel, you out here?
Yeah, I'm here, family. Before the
you
know, the same like Brother Solomon just said, you know, I thank the brother for coming out and telling his story. I do agree that it is something that needs to be told, needs to be heard by all, because it just shows that the reality is real. For those that think that racism no longer exists, it fully puts it back on the line and exposes it for those to be able to see it up close and firsthand, to let them know that the cracker just sugarcoated this shit and uses different terms for it and still does it behind closed doors and even out in the open. To the brother, you know, we with you, we got your back 100%. And my lots of final words is, fuck this cracker, he a beast. He got two options. He either can die or he can get evicted off the fucking planet. He gotta go. And that's Black Power on mine.
Black Power.
Black Power.
Black Power.
Appreciate it.
Black Power.
Yeah, man.
Black Power, baby.
You know, it's definitely been a very insightful show. You know what I mean? I'm going to utilize this show, but I definitely look forward to talking to you maybe we try to set up a couple things. We definitely need to get this story out a little further.
Okay.
We got a couple other options. We could try to backdoor some stuff. We see if we can get something in. Man, I got a pretty good vibe with a brother over there at the New Haven Register, man. We can see if we can get some type of story out of him. You know what I'm saying? I know the brother, I got to put the full court press on this, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Nah, this is, yeah. We need something to do anyway. RBGs up here need something to do. We need something to help champion up here, man. We got to make sure that we fight, on all fronts. So we need to make sure that we're looking out for our family, especially we can see what's going on. We know that they're going to get dejected from them other places. Dealing with the situations. We already know what's coming. You have to already be in order for that case to work. You got to die or already be in, man. Some of your family have to already be in.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So we got to be the backbone, and we know we're going to be the backbone for everybody to fall on. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's only, you want power. And what power is better than black? You know what I mean? That's that pure black African power that we definitely have to lay down. We're not going to let the camel who get away with this. Knew it was a small hat thing. We're going to find a way to make sure the small hat pays for this.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I want to say, man. I'm glad to be back on. I feel good right now. I laid down for a while earlier so I can make sure I was good for the night, So, I like to thank everybody for coming out and just let the co-host, if y'all want to close out with something, we let the brother go and we can, we can flow on about the situation, But, brother, if you want to add on, because what I want to do, it's Think Tank Thursday, so, when we got a situation like this, we still want to just mull over the situation a little bit. You feel me?
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, please, I wanted to thank the brother, man, and I appreciate you taking the time out to come on to the show. It's extremely important. Me, myself, I know you personally, so when I found out, I actually just found out myself, so that's when I was like, damn, I'm going to get in contact with him. I'm glad you had the courage to stand up and speak because, our people, situations like this make our people hide, man. I'm glad you didn't allow it to destroy you. And so, I look forward to further building with you furthermore on the issue. New Haven has a lot of different things going on, small hats like Brother Bourne mentioned, but on a larger scale, the system of white supremacy is an intricate network, and they work together, in all aspects of our lives. And so just to hear you explain how the employment is related directly to the legal, it's related directly to the big helicopter manufacturers and all the way back down to the police department and the church. We got a lot of things that we need to be aware of and be willing to expose and put out there. And so, I'm glad I'm glad we had this show. And, welcome back, Brother Bourne. It's good to see you back up here strong. And, a beautiful Hodier cracking the trunk. That's all I got to say.
Cracking the trunk.
Ashe.
Yeah,
Brother, you gotta,
man, feet on the ground, providing foundation for Africans to keep feet, shoes on their feet. Yeah.
We got to make sure we get in on that. That's a wonderful thing that the brother doing because Nicolas said it. That's building connection. That's the one thing that we got to be aware of is that connection that is to be made here, that should be made.
Brother, you got any type of a personal account for like donations or whatnot? Like, motherfuckers can directly maybe get some donations to you to kind of help you with your financial situation.
How we're gonna do this? We're in the process of putting together something, and so I'll get with Brother Mike again and let him know after we get that all set up, and then he can put that out for me. So we are in the process of doing that.
No doubt.
You said the information for the shoe drive is on the Facebook?
Yeah, that's on. You could go on my Facebook, and then what it is, I just need to. Once I know you're starting to do it, to get a location. Once you get them, I could have the people come there and pick them up, or somehow I could probably meet with you and get them or something.
All right.
Once you get them together or whatever, you could use my Facebook to get in contact with me, or anytime, or I could give you my number. It doesn't matter.
All right. I'm saying I'm on I logged into the Facebook account, the site where about the racial injustice in Orange, right?
Right.
And so you're saying that I could go ahead and hit you on at Wydell Smith on Facebook then?
Yeah, Wydell Sims.
Yeah, Sims. Excuse me,
yep.
Wydell Sims.
Yep.
So, but yeah, all right then. Well, I'll friend you right now.
Okay, cool. Now, what's your name?
I'm Brother Bourne.
Brother Bourne.
Yeah.
Okay. Got you.
We got a couple of mutual friends. We share anyway.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, matter of fact, our friend is Carolyn Smith and her son.
Okay, yep.
Her son, one of our friends too, and Shaheed from New Haven Register. Somebody
right. Okay. Yep.
who you should really know. You should really know Shaheed.
Yep.
And I'm going to know him. I will make sure of that.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, you put a bug in his ear, too.
Yeah, no, I definitely will. No, I definitely will. Be all favor.
Okay, cool. All right.
Be all favor. That's a good thing. I just did something with him just a little while ago.
Okay.
Yeah?
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that'll be a good thing. Now, that's, I'm going to pull it back up for everybody. Read it all up here.
Went out.
Mm.
And you also mentioned a website, right? Racial Trauma in Orange, is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Racial
correct.
Trauma. I'm about to read it right now, Queen. Racial Trauma in Orange, Wydell Sims supporters. It's a community. I just liked it.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, and you can also comment, put anything up there you want if you like.
Yeah, I just tagged the two people.
Yep, that'd be fine.
Yeah. So that's what we do. That would be good right there. Yeah, we make sure people be aware of this.
I appreciate it.
Mhm. Now, I'm saying it's the reality is, man, that this should go on too much.
Right.
Allow this bullshit to go on too much, man, and because we allow it to go on so much, they feel like it's okay. That anytime you can do this, that you can do this at a job, middle of the day, paying this black man, everybody in the job know, and it be nothing. And it be nothing.
And they did nothing. Nope. Their comment was they didn't want to make no hasty decisions. That was their first comment.
The person said, "Hey, I don't want to make no hasty decisions."
Yep, that was their first comments.
Hold up, nigga. Let's not make no hasty decisions.
Okay.
That's like I'm telling you, this black is condescending like that. That's where he come from. He come from that arrogant. Wait a minute, make no hasty decisions, nigga. You ain't got no. You don't be telling us what we gonna do up in this company. Let's not make no hasty decisions about firing people.
Yep, that's what it was. Yep.
You might have to go at the end of the day. You might end up leaving. But
yep.
Because his family in there, how they going? Yeah, they don't like you being no type of supervisor. You rearranging shit.
Yeah, okay.
All that. Oh man, they had meetings about you almost every night.
Yep. Okay. They had to.
I'm like, yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. See, this is shit that we don't think they're doing. They contemplating. They sitting there talking about it.
Yeah.
They Think about it. Right out.
Planning what they were going to do, how they was going to do it.
Yeah, how they was going to do it. The day they was going to do it, all the managers not there.
Yep. I'm telling you, there was not one manager there at that time.
You know, make sure no managers around, nobody to say managers connected. Everybody gonna be like, we don't know what happened.
Yep. Yep.
You help yourself.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was crazy.
And you know, there's been several lynchings that have occurred with black men, definitely over the last 5 to 10 years. Brother Jeannie speaks about at least 5 happening in Delaware, and the latest one was this college student. I think this was like in the spring. It was I believe it was spring of this year. College student in California at a particularly all-white kind of college. I believe he was on the football team. Big brother, sweet as can be. They found him hung in his room. Mysteriously.
I heard about that. Yep.
Brother James was saying something about another case that he seen in New Jersey, I think.
That's right.
He found a case there. I said, yeah, I'm telling you, I've heard of several different cases.
Wow.
So, you know.
Yeah, he was at a construction site. He, him and his friend, seeing, the news hung up. They don't know exactly who did it. You know what I'm saying? They know it just come from the company, though. It was one of the employees. And so it's like, this whole idea of exercising racism on the workplace comes in the form of a noose, ironically.
Yeah.
Something one is interesting. I say 2 ways you get to know what the white man's thinking is on the workplace and when he drinks.
Mhm. Yep. And they occasionally was drinking on that job too.
So definitely, I just found, the whole idea of them being that comfortable is what I'm interested in for some odd reason. The whole idea in light of how they operate in secular society. The illusion that they have effectively, pulled off to the masses. Because, you talk to the masses, they actually bought into a lot of the things that's being purported through the mass media pertaining to racial equality, et cetera. You got to understand that what happened to the brother on his job is an historical issue pertaining to race in our society. You know what I'm saying? There is no way that should be allowed on a workplace in light of the historical ramifications of what they did. This is like me going to a small hat establishment with a swastika and Nazi memorabilia. They will not have that at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's incumbent of us to actually point that out and say that, this is an ongoing historical issue pertaining to race in our society that we have not yet dealt with. That is always getting swept under the rug. So much so that President Obama himself doesn't deal with the race issue.
Do not deal with it.
Hey, I'm gonna, Brother Waddell, you out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna see, you set to to go. You know, you got anything else you wanted to say before you get off the line? I know you got to work tomorrow morning.
Yeah, again, I just want to say, thank you guys. Mike, I really appreciate all your help, your concerns, the love that you guys really shown me tonight. You have really, really encouraged my heart, and to even to look at things more differently and to go further to the next level, and where, and I do believe God has a plan for each and every one in our life, and I know this is part of my destiny that I need to go to. And, some days it's harder than others, but I am determined to do what needs to be done and what I can do and what I can bring to the table for our black community, our black people, to at least make it somewhat lighter so we don't have to keep going through these channels, and even for our children, our grandchildren, the ones that are coming up, and so that they will be aware and they will be alert, because it's happening even more now to the younger generation where, thinking it's okay and to get away with stuff like this, and it's not okay. It's not okay no more. And so it's just time now to take that stand. And like I said, if I have to be that example, then so be it. I'm willing to take that step.
All right. Thanks a lot, Brother Waddell. And we'll definitely get up and keep in contact with you.
Okay. Thank you guys again. Everyone have a good night, and I appreciate all the love and everything that you shown me on tonight.
Peace, brother.
All right. Peace and blessings.
Before Hodier.
Before Hodier.
Oh, yeah.
All right. After party, y'all.
I don't see why not.
I'm down.